Haribo. He would wake up everyone, rise and rejoice to the name Haribo.
Sort of, I think. I don't know. Right?
So I stopped him halfway there anyway. So. Showing the utmost tolerance and compassion, Jagai delivered the most sinful rogues. So Lord Chaitanya delivered the most sinful rogues, Jagai and Madai. The Lord freely gave everyone that love, which even Lord Brahma rarely obtains.
Okay. You got plenty out, man. Lord gave freely that love that even Lord Brahma rarely attains. I should think you said a mouthful. What do you think? It's about reading a whole bunch of sentences? How about one nice word? There's volumes in that. My God, the Lord gave the love that freely that Lord Brahma yearns to attain. How did he do that? People abandon their stupid, idiotic opinions that don't work, that don't deliver the desired result. And they said, hey man, you're showing this beautiful way of worshiping. I've never seen any ecstasy like that. I've never heard any Siddhanta like that. I'll abandon my stupid, idiotic opinion and just take that love that freely given as it's given now. Freely, if you abandon your opinion. You notice those who don't, they're the ones who don't get it. No, my opinion is right. Vaidhi Mar, because Prabhupada said this and Prabhupada didn't say that, but I think he did, and I'm a dry prune. I'm a prune face, and I'm still holding on to my friggin' stupid, idiotic opinion because I just want to be victorious. I'm in false ego, and I'm caught up with that, and I'm not going to relent. See? But those who just say, hey, opinion, I'll give it up, man, if I can get this freely. Well, hey, man, we got smart people here. Will you give up your bogus opinions that don't work? Hey, why not? If you're going to give me some free love, free ecstatic love, yeah. Now that's intelligence. But these Bhakti Vedantas won't do it. No, we won't give up our opinion that you are this and you are that and we are the big gurus and all that. We have prune faces and we don't awaken any love in anybody. It doesn't matter. But we got followers and money in the job, man. We think that's the greatest thing. We don't believe there's any free love because our Guru, Narayana Maharaj, didn't give it, and he said it takes many, many lifetimes. And here you come along, Gaurahari, and say you're giving free love, and people are getting it, but we're so smart, we still don't believe it. That's what you get from following Narayana Maharaj. Criticize a pure devotee. I did just what Sudama Brahman said because I know Krishna and he does not. I stand up over 1 million people like Sudama Brahman did and said, no, Pundraka is not the real Krishna. And I say, no, Narayana Maharaj is not the successor of Prabhupada. I am, because I know and I deliver the goods. Free love, whoever wants it, abandon your gurus, those idiots who don't give it and claim something else, because we're in line with Lord Chaitanya. He gave free love and we give free love because he's behind our amazing grace place. You don't like it? Tough shit! Get the hell out! And there'll be more room for those who will believe it. And we'll work on them. And then when you eat your humble pie, you go ahead and look morose and eat all that stuff, man. Prabhupada nailed this. God represents. They're envious and jealous and want to be equal and better than me. And I nail him and I'll nail them all. Because we're given free love who will abandon whatever's in the way of it. And that, whatever it is, throw it out. It's useless, man. Anybody who says you can't get this bhakti now, and you have to wait so many lifetimes, and you're lucky if you get an austerity and go all these stages, is not bona fide. They just can't do it. They can just talk about ruchi, talk about greed, spiritual greed. You have to have the PREMA Guru. I'm a PREMA Guru, but I can't give you PREMA Bhakti because I'm Putana in disguise. But there are thousands of people believe. I don't give a shit. There are thousands of people believing in Pundraka, right? I just read the damn pastime. There are 1,000 people believing in Narayana Maharaj is it, but he is a speculator, man, and he can't deliver pure bhakti. It's a sham, purebhakti.com baloney. Anybody who says they're the highest guru like Rupa Goswami, he said, I heard him with my ears, that high should be able to give Prema Bhakti like Rupa Goswami, like Lord Chaitanya, like Nakula Brahmachari, like all the devotees who had unrestricted ability to give this bhakti when it is ordered, and it has been ordered in here to do it. Free love, not this love, like you're gonna, love is love. No! Love is not just love. There's love of the world, man. And there's ecstatic love with squirting tears, ecstatic love, roaring like a lion, all kinds of stuff like that. And that's how we roll here. You don't like it? Well, go follow your gurus and get your prema in many lifetimes because you think they're so high because they just say so, but they can't do the job like we do. A transcendental tree that's really transcendental will produce transcendental fruits. And we do that and prove it. But those who just boast, it's the Pundraka obstacle. It's the Putana false devotee, false acharya. Want you to suck on that nipple and you just get poisoned and you can't even come here. None of them can come here, not one. They're so poisoned and so full of it, man. And if I don't point it out, people keep going down, they say he's the successor to Prabhupada. Who's going to stand up and say no? Well, thousands believe it. I don't care. Look at the result. Nothing. Don't even like what we do. Don't believe it. Bhaktivedanta, what are you putting your stuff on my page? You're a Bhaktivedanta. Why don't you like the truth then? Why don't you like the explanation of what is a Bhaktivedanta if you're so smart? England's ready for this. Okay. See, if I don't point these things out, people think, let's go that route. Okay? So I pointed it out. Still people say, he's an offender and all this stuff. See? But time will show. Time will show. I put it out. Time will show as people keep waking up in bhakti. And you see, and Gaurahari doesn't fall down. He keeps getting more ecstatic. Because the bottom line, if I attack and you say, he's a pure devotee on the highest level and all that. Okay, if he is, I should fall down. I should not chant. And so you watch, you see. Okay? Because if I just attack the pure devotee that is a successor, he's claimed to be he's a successor of Prabhupada, they all bill him like that. If I attacked one like that, I'll be a Christian again or some other stupid thing. Krishna will bewilder me like crazy. That's what happens when you attack somebody that's not real. But if I attack somebody, now is this attacking or am I pointing out the truth? with some emphasis. Because if I'm pointing out the truth, I'm just doing what Bhagavatam did. I'm doing what Sudama did, because he's one of those rare persons that really knew Krishna. He said Pundraka is not Krishna. He knows authentically Krishna's essence, and he had communion with Krishna, and closeness with Krishna. He knows. See? And there were millions. There's only thousands following him and others, but he had millions of people following this Pundraka. Was the false Krishna. So there's false Krishna and the false Acharya claiming that Krishna is behind them. Same thing. And there's only going to be one out of thousands, if not millions, of persons that can see that, because that's how rare a person that knows Krishna is. That's why Prabhupada astounded people. He said, well, look at these God brothers, man, they're envious and jealous of me. You know, they're trying to take my disciples. Well, that's what Narayana Maharaj did. He took 2 of my disciples and said, Gaur isn't qualified. He's not a devotee. He's not a pure devotee. Come to me. And they believed him and took initiation. He bamboozled me. I thought, well, God, look, he's got a big following on that. Let me find out. Maybe he's got something I don't know. See? So it took 2, that's what they do. They see real bhakti and they want to criticize. And these guys are pretty intelligent. They study the books and they know all the words and all that stuff, man. But I remember I would listen to class and I said, these are the most boring things I ever heard. Radhe this, Radhe that, and all this stuff. And where's Lord Chaitanya? Not much, Yeah, Sachi saw these things too, because we had to get in, we got involved because my ex-wife went that way. So anyway, hey man, people are following that path, but I am here to show the real path. I want to see devotees get real bhakti, but if you go into that, it's like, can you imagine if that is poison, and I'm saying it is, you're going to go and suck on that nipple, thinking you're going to get that, what are you going to get? Poisoned. How are you going to come here? See? So maybe we head off some people at the past, or if they go and drink there, they can maybe notice something. You can go and look at our students here, going up and up and up. Come on, look at everybody is they're nourished, their bhakti is nourished. Man, we're the true branch. Like Jesus said, I'm the true vine, man. We're the true branch of the Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and proof is in everybody's bhakti is growing. They're going and doing stuff. They're getting life. Yeah, very little talk because they don't know. They just want to jump right into Radhe Radhe like the Radhakund Babajis, man. So anyway, it's just very rare to find a devotee who knows. But you see, Sudama stood up for it. And it's my duty to stand up for the truth now. I know it's unpopular. I know a lot of people say, oh, you're crazy. I know you're an offender. I know. But I have to live the Bhagavatam. You see, Sudama was one of those few people that really knew Krishna, and he stood up. So therefore I stand up to help people. Jesus stood up. His disciples stood up. They came and said, listen, man, Jesus is the way. He was the real authentic teacher back then, But their Siddhanta needs to be clarified, because they're actually after now, they get the Holy Spirit and you preach the truth. But they don't have a lot of, they just have what Jesus said, a few books, and so it's not a lot. I mean, we're so fortunate to have so much Siddhanta, really amazing stuff. It's the first time that I hear that Narayana Maharaj is not a pure devotee. Yeah. First time, huh? Hey man, if a person has the symptoms of not accepting your bhakti and what you are, see, this is how the Prabhupada identified his godbrothers as not being purified. hey, look at them, they have symptoms of envy and jealousy and all this. But, you know, one of my students was my ex-wife. She told me that Narayana Maharaj says no. She asked him, does he have real bhakti? He said no, it's some shadow stuff. So she believed him and then left. Okay, what are you going to do? So what is that saying? So anyway, it just is what it is, man. I'm here on the mission, where our mission is to preach pure, to give away this love freely. Everybody, if you just believe, you just come, you hear, come to the point of believing it. I'm not here into doing the etiquette. My name is Avadut, right? Avaduts, they're a little bit different. You know, they say things that might blow your mind, but it's always truthful. I'm not lying. Because if that was really the true transcendental tree, people would get real bhakti. If you're a successor to Prabhupada, that's the next stage, is real bhakti. See, that's why Prabhupada came to me and said, okay, give this. Look, people, we're all falling in ecstasy, man, because we're in the same room. That's why we're going to Europe, man. Let's see what happens. You know, in the same room, there's a good chance people are going to pop. And that's why I'm so eager to go there now. I said, let's go and let's start doing something, man. Let's get in the same room with devotees. And don't think I'm not doing anything that he didn't do. I was in those classes. He was saying, don't go to ISKCON gurus, man. They're this. And he would say, you can come in secret. He was doing, all this. He was just saying, hey, man, you got to have the highest, I'm the highest devotee, and all that stuff. But he couldn't do the job. He couldn't give this bhakti. All he did was teach this big, long process of Vaidhi bhakti and also coming up through the ranks. But he'd talk about Radha and Krishna and all these pastimes. But he was also, to get his following, he was doing exactly what I was doing. He was saying, because he believed that he was, just like Pundraka, he had all that flattery from his students. Well, he believed he was the highest thing. And the only way you can tell that you're not, or you are, is if the Lord proves it by awakening bhakti in others. That's why I'm more out with it. He was also, man, he was telling you, to say, oh, you're criticizing the devotee. Well, he was doing the same darn thing. He criticized me. Told me, snatched two of my disciples. Both of them asked him, is he bona fide? No. Well, hey, don't I have a say? I say I am bona fide because I do what they can't do. You don't like it? Hey, man, too bad. He did it, and he's telling the wrong thing, saying I can't do it, saying I don't have it, to snatch two of my disciples, like they did with the godbrothers, tried to snatch his disciples. They were going to give you something higher. Yeah, it's always the same. Maya. I was just getting my sea legs back then, and I was a little confused because they have a big following and all that. I thought, God, I don't know, maybe he's right, maybe this isn't the real bhakti. Then I went in there, for a year and a half, I'm looking for this real bhakti. He was nowhere to be found. The topmost disciple bored me to death, man. I listened just all this intellectual, I invited him to give a class, the topmost disciple, give a class somewhere, and he's talking like an intellectual, completely bored. I said, where is this bhakti that they said is better? And I realized the guy was just envious of me, like they were a Prabhupada. It's just how it is. It took me a while to figure it out. Hey, I ain't doing anything different than he was. I'm not doing anything different than the Radhakund Babajis. And I'm pointing out, they did the same thing. I went there, why are you following ISKCON there? Because, Prabhupada's really not bona fide, and the Bhakti Vinod and all that, because they wore orange cloths. See, always external stuff, Same thing. Always they're all wanting to be on top. So, in a sense, I'm doing the same thing, but what I'm saying is true. That's the only difference. Because I got to do it also, but it's got to be the true teaching and the true thing. Like Sudama had to stand up and say, I'm sorry that Pundraka is not bona fide, man. And millions of people believed it. But he really knew Krishna. And I'm saying, yeah, I'm showing you that I have some real connection with Krishna because he will prove it and is proving it. That's how you know the difference. There, he doesn't prove it. He doesn't show it. In ISKCON, in the Narayana Maharaj, in the Gaudiya Math, anywhere. But he's doing it here. See, through a Sudra. And hopefully, we want to help everybody. I wouldn't think I have anything against them or, I don't. You think anybody wants to see people to stay in darkness? You think I want that? That's why I do this. You think if I was interested in public opinion, I wouldn't say anything. I'm trying to help them. Maybe somebody will listen. Okay? But, the people, they think like that, even them. They don't know what real love is. It's all in Prabhupada's books. The Shastras say what it is. And if you don't have it, then how can you say you're such a guru? If you're, Prabhupada's books tells you the kind of ecstatic love, and it identifies it.
Srimad Mahaprabhu inaugurated the Harinam Sankirtan movement. He took sannyas to deliver the most fallen. These topics shall like tasty pieces of sullified nectar, will purify the heart of even the staunchest atheist. Upon his return to Navadvip, Vishvambara felt very happy, sporting with all his friends and relatives. At this time the Lord began teaching the young Brahmin boys of Nadia. All these boys were pious, strict, and pure in behavior. They were the most fortunate students in 3 worlds. One day, Gaura Hari compassionately instructed his students.
So, see, this is the nature of our Lord. Lord Chaitanya, Jesus Christ, God. God is he likes to be with his devotees. Okay? And when he's with his devotees, they feel a very special presence. See, it's very ecstatic, it's very blissful, very intoxicating. See, that's why people are in the same room here, they feel this kind of stuff. Because Lord is here, man. See? I didn't feel that in these other places. There was some other energy. It was kind of like, there's some kind of other energies. This Brahman thing, they got some power, but it's not like this. This is really, the Lord is very attracted to our preaching. There's nothing more conclusive than our preaching on the planet. It's so conclusive that it attracts the Lord. He likes to be with his real devotees, and that's why that's our secret to our power. It's not just, it's just the empowerment is here to draw the Lord. And it's the Lord that makes it all work. See? But he likes to be with his devotees who truly have ecstatic love for him. See? If you don't have ecstatic love for him, you're not drawing the Lord. It's not just love. Love is the same, man. This bhakta needs to help, saying that. See? Or anybody else. It's not just, it has to be this kind of love that the Lord has. You have to, like when Jesus said, when you see me, you see the Father. It is like that. It's like the Son and the Father are so intimate that the Father is coming through the Son. And that's how you learn about the Father. This is how it works. Jagannananda was so close with Lord Chaitanya, he was sent to Navadvip to give Lord Chaitanya's association to the residents. They wouldn't let him leave. It was just like they had the presence of Lord Chaitanya there through Jagannananda Pandit. The same quality of that kind of love. Very amazing. That's what closeness with the Lord does. You get to learn about the Lord through that devotee, his presence and everything. Otherwise you can't go directly. You have to find that authorized devotee who basically brings the Lord through. as he is. You see all these different moods that the Lord have, these ecstatic states, you know, sometimes roaring like a lion. All that stuff is the Lord coming through the devotee. It's not the devotee doing it independently. You think I'm acting like this independently? It's the Lord using this to show himself. Whoever accepts our preaching here is showing that they're accepting the Lord. If you don't love what's going on here, you're getting purified. But if somehow or other you're feeling really attracted and enlivened and all this is a symptom of purification and appreciation for the Lord's transcendental presence, which is strong. It's very intense, man. You know? I'm taking it also. It's very intense on this body. You come in there, it's like, see, but this is how the Lord shows himself. And those who begin to like that and appreciate that, it's like you're receiving the Lord's transcendental presence, and it comes in and starts purifying you like crazy, man. And then you just get it like pure bliss, like Govinda. This stuff, it just comes in and it goes, intoxicated. This is how it works. Those who come here and there's no room for the bhakti there, no room for the word. See? They just come, or they can't receive it. No room for it. See? But those who come and there's room for it, they just start to get more enlivened, man. See? It's always the same way. You got to be it. You got to be. When Jesus said, "I have life, I can give it to you abundantly," this is how it is. Life comes through the real guru. That's our process, man. Yeah, life is being funneled here through. I getting life, everybody else getting life that way. See. But as soon as you want to go directly to get that life, you're out of Guru Tattva, and now you're into some Mayavadi thing. Want to be one with Guru, one with God. It's the wrong path. See? Is this a path of submission to the truth? It's not like I'm trying to get you to blindly believe. No, this is the way it works. Those who stay in that mood get bhakti forever. Because then when I disappear, you just by thinking of your Guru is always with you. Always with you. But if you don't get that lesson here and you just want to sidestep it and just get, like equal all that, when I disappear, you'll see, you'll dry up and you'll get another chance, who knows when. But, if you're coming here and getting juice here, it's because of Guru Tattva. And so part of our teaching here is how to respect the Guru in a sense where you get it and then you just do it automatically. Okay? Then you're protected. But if the real shadow is you just, getting the energy and then you think you're on the same level or more or less, or you don't give proper respect. That kind of thing is still shadow. If I disappear, it'll also dry up. You dry up. Okay? It's kind of how it works.
One day, Gaura Hari compassionately instructed his students, the lotus feet of Krishna are the one and only truth. The purpose of all knowledge is to attain Krishna Bhakti. According to the Shastras, everything else is ignorance.
So, the purpose of all knowledge, study of the Vedas and everything, is to attain Krishna Bhakti. Okay? And how do you attain Krishna Bhakti? Through the knowledge? No, the purpose is to attain it. Okay? And you got to find the personified form of Krishna Bhakti, and that's the Guru. See? That's the door. That's what Jesus is talking about, the door to the kingdom. See? The study, the fruit of study of all knowledge is to attain Krishna Bhakti, and that is given through the bona fide Guru. See, the bona fide devotee. Okay? By their association, you get it. Okay, so it's all leading, that's why Jesus said, the scriptures are all leading to me. They're leading to the devotee. the one who is teacher, the one who is there. And then you just get it for free, especially if the Lord says distribute the confidential purport and everything. People were getting stuff from Prabhupada because you cannot help but give stuff by being close association. People were blissed out of their minds, you know, more or less, depending on their faith in Prabhupada. Okay? But some more instruction was needed, and that's what we're here to do on that.
Knowledge is fleeting, yet devotion for Radha and Krishna will remain with you eternally. One who is proud of his wealth, high birth and education cannot attain Krishna. However, one who has pure devotion can easily get Yadu Raya, Sri Krishna. Please consider that the Supreme Lord Krishna becomes controlled by the mellows of bhakti. Then Lord Vishvambara recited 2 Sanskrit verses.
See, the Lord is controlled by the mellows of bhakti, right? See, the best way to tell him is by unalloyed devotion. Now, when you take this verse and you go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, verse 98 through 100, what does it say? It says, the Lord appears as the greatest devotee, the external manifestation of Supersoul. And his quality is the 2 types of Bhagavatas. One is the scripture, Bhagavatam. The other is what? The devotee. What? Absorbed in the mellows of devotion. See, so the best way to attain this devotion is to follow this verse. See? Because otherwise it's not clear. Yes, unalloyed devotion is the best way to attain the Lord. But then when it points also to this verse, how you get it is to get it directly from the Lord is very hard and very rare, and that you won't do it directly. It's like 1 out of 1,000,000 chance you do it directly in this life. Okay, so the other practical way is you find a devotee absorbed in the mellows of devotion, and by the action of the book, the Bhagavat, and the devotee, those mellows of devotion, see, the best way to attain Krishna, are instilled in your heart. See? So again, you need just need what we're doing here. That's why people are progressing so fast. It's unbelievable, actually, how people are progressing. Only because it's meant to progress quick when everything's lined up properly. See, when you're in the real line. See, we're in the real line. Bona fide guru, absorbed in the mellows of devotion, and we got the book Bhagavat, and by the action, see our classes. God, why are we doing this? Why am I giving 3-4 classes a day? Why are you coming 3-4 times a day yourselves? Why? Because we're in line and know, hey man, wow, what an opportunity to be in the line. Nobody's in the line out there. You don't have any gurus that I can see absorbed in the real mellows of devotion. Therefore, you don't get that result. That's why they preach. Narayana Maharaj preach, many lives you get to the level of praying, and you go up and all that. Because he's not absorbed in the real mellows of devotion. And people are like, well, he had some power. And Daksha had some power also. Look at the Guru Bali Maharaj, they have some power also. It's Brahminical stuff, and they love to do austerities to get more powerful. See? But then when the real devotee comes, they snatch their disciples. They did mine. See? See, and I'm just saying, you believe in that? Well, you're going to get that. Many lifetimes, and then maybe you'll get it. I'll tell you the truth. I'd let out all stops. Krishna put me in. This is the honest truth. Everything here showing, because people have great faith in Radhanath, right? Radhanath. I also thought, well, Radhanath, but I listened to a class and my heart burns. I have to chant my own names, Hare Krishna, and then get purified. And he told one of my students, he asked him, is Gaura Hari part of the disciplic succession? He said, no, but Narayana Maharaj is. And he left. They, Radhanath, the best, or they think the best of them. It shows you. Why does Krishna show? He showed me all this because people have great faith in that. But you know what? Are they getting pure bhakti? No, you notice, admittedly, he's humble and all that, right? Humble guy, God, it's just all that. But does he have this ecstatic devotion? I never see anything like that. He's like a Devananda Pandit. He was also very humble like this and austere. He taught Bhagavatam. He was a Vaishnava, talked about Krishna, all this. But he also did the same thing Radhanath did when he's faced with an ecstatic devotee. No, not bona fide. See? Same thing. The real devotee is the standard. Everything happened to Srivas, ecstatic devotee, happens to me too. And Prabhupada and all ecstatic devotees. That's why it's so subtle. Devananda Pandit did exactly what Radhanath did. He said, this Srivas, throw him out. Let him, they let the students throw him out of the class. He's a disturbance. Yeah, no problem. Get him out of here. The pure devotee with real ecstasy. Again, shows you. People going down these paths, they think they're going to get back to Godhead. Well, you won't in this life, because that's still the Daksha mentality. Still, there's subtle envy and jealousy that you may not be able to see. There's all this humbleness there, but still, jealousy or competition with the higher mode is there. Why does it come out? Because that's what the real devotee pulls out of people all the way down. I took away my students, man, saying I'm not bona fide, both of them. The bottom line is this ecstatic devotion. That's the whole thing that we're here. Real Krishna conscious movement is about the awakening of ecstatic devotion. It's not like if you follow, say, like Radhanath. I'm not saying, come on, I just pointing these things out because this is my job. Those who want to be delivered because you'll only be delivered with this ecstatic devotion, according to Prabhupada's books, and I believe that. Brahma said you have to have the invensa symptoms of bhakti to be promoted to the spiritual world. See? So these guys do, so they're promoted. Okay? Whoever else, Lalita, others, getting it. Okay? So Radhanath, guys like him, very humble, everything, people going that path, oh man, they feed the Vaishnavas and all this and all that. But still, that's not good enough to go into the kingdom of God beyond the demigods. It's not good enough. See, that's the path where you're serving everybody. He teaches like that. It's kind of a Brahmin level realization. He teaches to be a selfless servant and all these kind of new agey things, kind of like in there, and stuff. So it just depends on what you want, man. I'm teaching ecstatic devotion. That's the real Gaudiya Vaishnava ultimate thing. People have a hard time rising to that unless you go through the real door. You got to find a real one out of a million devotees that's truly an ecstatic devotee, not some bullshitter, man, saying, yeah, I have this thing, or love, and all some kind of speculation. Not that way. You got to find a real ecstatic devotee that is actually authorized by the parampara and by their own experience of bhakti, all of that, knowing the shastras and everything. And that's your door to this. That's one out of a million doors, man. That's what you get in here. Because I have no other interest. I don't care about, leading people to become nice, humble pie thing, and you good servant of all this person treat. Yeah, they do like that. But that's not good enough. That's why Paul knew the truth. He said our good deeds are like filthy rags before God. You can do such perfect deeds and everything, and it just doesn't impress the Lord. The Lord even says, we read, He's not impressed by awe and reverent and, pious deeds. Is not a way to attain him. There was one guy who became a lizard in the well. You remember that pastime? Krishna became a lizard. And to prove this point, this lizard he was a king who was so pious, he did so many sacrifices and fed millions of Brahmins and gave charities and did welfare activities and was so humble and everything, and he committed one fault. And it was a misunderstanding. And he was sent to become a lizard. See, and he realized something, But anyway, actually, we got great mercy because he became a lizard in that well. And Krishna touched him with his foot. Okay? So, see, the thing is, he had to be touched with the foot of the Lord. Now, the foot of the Lord, the feet of the Lord is the true Vaishnava who has an intimate relation with him. If you're touched by their word, you believe their word. Maybe they slap you a little, ground it a little bit verbally. Maybe even physically sometime. If you get that touch, that's powerful. Okay? Or the shouting, like this shouting is very strong, man. Get in the same room with that. Who knows what will happen.
Then Lord Vishvambara recited 2 Sanskrit verses from the Shastras. Who was the hunter who was full of bad habits, and how old was Dhruva? What was Vidu's family background, and what was Ugrasena's valor? How beautiful was Kubja? Was Sudama Brahma wealthy? From these examples we can understand that Lord Madhava cares more for devotion than for the innumerable personal qualities. Thus the Lord taught love of Krishna to his students, and saturated their hearts with joy.
So what's interesting, and it's something I've never seen before, there are two things here. There are examples of those who've got this bhakti in this life, and like Dhruva and somebody else. Anyway, another 2 examples of those who got this bhakti in this life, and they got it through the Guru. See, by following the order of the Guru. And then there's some examples of those who got it from past life. Okay, and that was Sudama and others, Ugrasena, maybe something like this. And this is known because Sudama was automatically attracted to Krishna. He had ecstatic love of Krishna. It's good, it's shown in this movie how this works. As soon as a devotee who has from the past life attraction to Krishna, as soon as they see somebody devotional or a devotee or Krishna is something devotional, they did get ecstatic. They actually ecstatic love, the tears come and everything. And he felt that way for Krishna just upon meeting him the first time. See? So practically, that's many devotees can come in like that. But if you don't have it like that, when you're in touch with devotional service, chanting, all that, you get it through the Guru. See, a real Guru.
Give me whatever wealth you collect from your various travels. This time you've returned from Gaya with the rarest, most valuable treasure of all Krishna Prema, which is beyond the reach of even the demigods. Though I'm afraid to ask, please give me my Krishna Prema. His heart melted by Sachimata's sincere and humble request. Gaurahari said, Mother, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, you will indefinitely get the love of God. Instantly on hearing this, Sachimata received Prema Bhakti, pure love of God. Her body shook, erupted in thrill bumps of joy, and tears streamed from her eyes. In ecstasy, Sachimata chanted, Krishna!
See, there you have it. She said, by some good fortune he attained this prema. Well, how did he do it? See, this is chapter 1. He went to Gaya, and who did he meet? Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri was an ecstatic devotee. And Ishvara Puri got his ecstasy from pleasing his guru, Madhavinda Puri. See, it's an ecstatic line. Ramachandra Puri was also a devotee of Madhavinda Puri, but he didn't have the ecstasy. See, therefore, he couldn't give it. He was just a critic and fault finder of Vaishnavas who had ecstasy. He even criticized his own guru. See, so that's the bottom line. That's why there's controversy here. That's why people don't like what I do that are also Vaishnavas. Because there's the lines that don't have ecstasy, and they don't like those who do. They find fault with it. You notice that? Find fault with Gaurahari. So we represent the devotional scriptures, and so do they. They follow the path of Ramachandra Puri, who criticized Vaishnavas. He criticized Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy. He criticized, his guru's ecstasy. Wanted to instruct his guru, and then he went on to criticize devotees and everything. And he was also sannyasi and a teacher. People had followers. See? So that we see the same thing. Ishvara Puri got the real potency, and what is that? Ecstatic devotion. He cried in ecstasy. He cried in ecstasy and had these symptoms. He passed it on to Lord Chaitanya. And then Mother Sachi said, now Lord Chaitanya gets it, now he's acting like a Vaishnava. So he can pass it on too, right? He's a Vaishnava, So she begs. See, everybody asked in a humble mood. They were submissive towards this ecstatic devotees. See? It's not this challenging thing. Oh, what are you? Yeah, I'm so smart. I'm here to be your teacher. How are you going to get real bhakti that way? See? You got to follow in the line. See, these guys got it. They were submissive to it. Submissive to Guru. See? They really wanted this. They begged for it in their hearts or whatever. Just Mother Sachi also. And what did Lord Chaitanya say? Conclusively, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, you're going to get it. But it's by the mercy of the ecstatic Vaishnavas. Make that really clear in your mind. This bhakti is only transmitted by truly ecstatic bhaktas. If they give you this baloney, man, that, well, we don't show it, but we got it, man, watch out. Because, hey, where do you see this bhakti? Do you really want Krishna? Well, Krishna is this bhakti. This gives qualification to know Krishna intimately. That's why I say what I say and do what I do, because of that intimacy. And it is only this ecstasy that gives that intimacy. It's the Lord's potency to know Him. Without it, you cannot know the Lord. Your eyes have to be tinged with the salve of love, like Brahma said, to know Krishna really in truth. Okay? So anybody say they're a Gaudiya Vaishnava line and they're a guru and everything, first question any intelligent person says, do you have the ecstasy of a Gaudiya Vaishnava line following as Lord Chaitanya taught? He says, by the line that we have is an ecstatic line. Do you have this ecstatic devotion? Oh, I never sure. Okay. Well, can I chant with you for a week or two and see if you pop a tear, 1 or 2 at least? See, the bottom line is, man, this is, you see, it's all in the pastime. I'm just pointing it out, man. How come they don't do that? Because they don't know. They can't see. They're blind. They can't see what's plainly evident. They speculate, and they're because blind by titles and all this stuff. They can't just see the simple truth. God, it's a no-brainer we're bona fide, that we're in the real Gaudiya line, that Gaurahari is the guru and the successor for Prabhupada, and proves it. It's just right there. And anybody else that has that ecstasy also is. You don't got it, you're not it, man. You gotta be it. The personification of ecstasy. Otherwise, get off that Vyasa-san. Who the heck are you to sit up there? Our line is this, the real line. Otherwise, you're an abbas. You're not even a devotee. Bhaktivedanta, you're not even a devotee. You're probably the most fallen person, because you hear me, you don't like it, and you'll preach against it. Oh, you're the fallen class. Hopefully some sannyasi in some yuga will come along that has real bhakti to deliver you. Because while it's here, you might have to come to a sudra. No, you will have to come to a sudra. This bhakti is so rare. So are we teaching the right thing or what? Isn't it so clear right there in the pastime? Ecstasy, ecstatic devotee. That's you. By the mercy of the ecstatic devotee, you get this bhakti. See? What the heck is it? Why are we doing it? What are we just doing? Show? Putting on a show? Hey man, we've got the Vaishnava show, man. We speculate what a Vaishnava is. Hey, look at us prance around the stage, man. We promote Varnashram Dharma and build temples, and they're always building stuff here. Build, tear it down, build it up, tear it down. Well, what else we got to do? We can't relish bhakti, so we got to do fruitive stuff. Build a temple, build this, build. Yeah, well, we build the real temple here, man. The temple of bhakti, devotion, ecstasy, truth. I'm just telling you, it's like plainly evident there. That's the path, man. By the mercy of the So anybody you look out there doesn't have this ecstatic devotion, they're no guru. Not in our line. What kind of guru is that? Oh, you can teach this and that? All right, maybe you're a guru like that. But hey, man, who's interested in deliverance, man? Who's interested in the essence of the truth? Who's interested in the real Bhagavatam and the real Chaitanya Mango, the real path? Who's interested? Come here and we'll teach you. You interested in something else? Like something slow and morality and Dalai Lama stuff, teachings of moralities and Varnashram Dharma. We'll go over there, I guess. But those who really want bhakti, really want to know and desire to know Chaitanya Leela, you know, like that, and real Bhagavatam and real deliverance, real bhakti and real tears, come here.
Sometimes Lord Vishvambara enjoyed pastimes in the home of Brahman named Suklambara Brahmachari. There the Lord became enraptured in a deep transcendental ecstasy. Riots of tears rushed from his eyes and a stream of mucus flowed constantly from Lord Gauranga's nose. Suklambara didn't feel...
Oh, actually, finish off. It was kind of interesting.
Suklambara didn't feel any displeasure when he served by wiping the Lord's nose.
You see, I went to the so-called Raganuga Sangha there with Narayana Maharaj, and I thought I went and talked to the painter there, Jadharani. So Jadharani there was a nose she was painting. This was in 93 or some long time ago. She was painting this picture of Krishna, Radharani, and it looked like there was mucus coming out of her nose. And I thought, wow, because, if you notice, I blow my nose a lot. That's a symptom of bhakti. You notice? Lord Chaitanya did it, like father, like son. You don't have that, you don't have real bhakti yet, man, or a very deep level of it. Okay? See, it gets deep like you start blowing your nose. Okay? So anyway, I said, oh, that's interesting, you painted this mucus coming out of her nose, because that's what happens, man. I go through so many tissues, I have to use big rags here. And she says, what are you talking about? That's a nose ring. She says, there's no symptoms of mucus that come out of a person's nose. Here, this is a person There was a right or left hand of Narayana Maharaj, and doesn't even know that. See, doesn't know. It shows you they don't know this. It's just a bunch of talking about it, man. All these people just talk about this stuff. They don't know what real bhakti is. And then I'm just telling you, I went in there, I checked these things out. The right-hand woman should know all about Raganuga Bhakti and its symptoms, and said, no, there's no symptom. I never came across anything like that. Well, God, I was blowing my nose in 1993. That's a long time. I've been blowing my nose ever since. That's a lot of accumulation of bhakti. No wonder I talk like I do. Not only that, I went to a class. I'm telling you, hey man, Krishna put me through all so I can preach this stuff and preach from experience. I go to a class, and this nice lady, she's preaching in class. She was considered one of the most advanced disciples. But I noticed there was this competition thing with another lady disciple, and kind of proud type stuff. But she says, yeah, I came to my guru here, Narayana Maharaj, man. And she said, I used to cry all the time. When I read the Leela of Krishna, I was crying and all this. And then I got initiation from my guru, and I stopped crying. And then I asked him, I said, why don't I cry? He said, oh, I took your tears away and your ecstasy so you can preach Krishna consciousness. What a bunch of bullshit is that? She went for it and never cried and just cultivated the thought. I watched her thing, and she got more and more egotistical and competitive with her friend. They just competed to be the best teacher like that all the way. See, I'm telling you, man, I went in there and looked at the best their disciple, and they had them tell me, oh yeah, he took it away so I can preach. Hey man, how do I preach, man? More tears the better. You can't preach real Krishna consciousness without having real ecstasy. That's what you're powered by. Otherwise, she was cultivating now pride and false ego. She got on the false creeper. Why? Because she believed Putana. Tricked her. See? Not advanced enough. I'm here to protect people. You come here, I'll protect you from Putana. You don't come here, you're fair game for Putana. I was blowing my nose way before 93 also. You got to do a lot of bhajan, man, to confront the Maya I confront every day. And protect what I protect. Not only her, but many others. See? Putana kills baby devotees. You have some bhakti from some life, and then you come and Putana's right there, unless you meet the real guru who protects you from Putana. This is what it says. You got Raganuga Bhakti, you come in this life with it, then you take shelter immediately of a Raganuga Bhakta. Well, they're so rare right now in Kali Yuga. I'm lucky I got squeezed through all this. I had to go through all that crap. And I took initiation from a Radhakund Babaji. This guy was so poisonous you wouldn't believe it. So hypocritical, such a liar, such a rascal, man. And he took initiation from somebody who rejected his guru. That was that Vasudev guy. Rejected Bhaktisiddhanta and went to the Babajis. And he was one of the disciples of that guru who rejected Bhaktisiddhanta. I got in there. I got so poisoned, I thought I was going nuts. And my ex-wife was just drinking it up like it was, lapping it up like it was wonderful. She also got into that. See, I went through all of that. It took me a week. I had to journal, and I had to take shelter of Jesus again to get rid of that crap, man. You know, you pick up even in Vaishnava. There's a lot of stuff protecting Vrindavan, man. The real bhakti is, you know, you got to go the right channel. Anyway, I'm here and I'm preaching, and I got the order, Prabhupada. Those who believe it, you're going to get this bhakti. And yeah, otherwise, I don't think there's one person that's gotten through all this stuff. Trinavarta, speculation, all those demons, man.
Gaurahari cried without cessation, day and night. He just wept and lay on the ground. In the daytime, the Lord would ask, "What time of night is it?" Someone would reply, "My Lord, it's daytime, not night." Totally absorbed in love of God, Gauranga cried and cried. He couldn't distinguish between day and night. If by chance the Lord heard someone singing in the glories of Krishna, he would immediately start wailing again and rolling on the ground. Other times, Gauranga loudly chanted the name of Krishna. His body would tremble in delight, goosebumps would appear everywhere, and he would fall prostrate on the ground.
See? This is why the student community didn't like it. See, he's doing it in public, man. See? People don't like that. He's purifying the whole planet, man, relishing that kind of bhakti. Purifying the whole universe, actually. That level of bhakti. You see a lot of tears. You notice people coming there? They cry a lot at first. And then the laughter comes. And then other symptoms come. Blowing the nose and stuff like that. It just increases. Because here, we can water that bhakti. Outside of this Sangha here, everything's trying to attack it. So even in Vaishnavism, where's the shelter in Vaishnavism? You got all these guys that hate this bhakti. Isn't that amazing? That's why I say you want this kind of bhakti, this is the only place for it. Because everywhere else that people say is high and all that, they attack it. I just showed you that lady. It took her bhakti, just convinced her. She believed it. That's what Putana does. She's wanting to see if you believe. And then gives you the poison nipple, and you don't get this bhakti. I lost it also. I went to that Sangha, spent 1.5 years. I became Mr. Dry Guy, man. I was wearing white. I had no revelation. Sachi remembers. No realization, no revelation. Nothing. Lost it all. I was this colorless person. See, you just take on what you associate, what you believe in. Well, I believe, well, maybe, they got the real thing. And finally woke up.
The Lord was continually savoring the bliss of Krishna Prem and sharing it with others.
See, okay. So, you've got to relish this kind of ecstasy to share it with others. See, that's what you have to do. Now, we can't just stay in that. That's the Lord did it, and he had followers, he had people there believed in him, all that. We've got to kind of wear different hats here. You have to show the ecstasy, taste it, relish it, show that it's real, that people develop faith in it. We have to give a siddhanta about it. We have to pull out that we're right, see, and they're all wrong. We got to, because people, it's very exclusive. You remember when Bhakti Siddhanta said when Lord Chaitanya disappeared, then these influences that are all in Vaishnavism came in there and polluted the Sampradayas. It's all pollution, man. See? How are you going to get real bhakti there? That's why we have the shelter for it. That's why Prabhupada came to me. He wants people to be ecstatic. Those who come here will become ecstatic devotees. You'll get the shelter here. See? That's the pollution that came into the Sampradayas and took it away. They don't even know what it is. They don't even care about it. They don't like it. But there are people going to them, to the Krishna conscious, they think they're going to get it, but they're getting the shuck and jive, man. They're all like that Pundraka. imitating real acharyas and all that, and the real path and all that. No, the real path is what we teach, and we point it right out. So this bhakti is what destroys the miseries of everybody. See, this is what illuminates this age of Kali. See, to those who worship me with love, ecstatic love, I give them the understanding. So, simultaneously, this bhakti and transcendental knowledge awaken. This gives us immortality. That's the right guru. You have to find the empowered incarnation of Sat Chit Ananda. Chit is that transcendental knowledge that awakens simultaneously with ecstatic worship. That's the only light in this world, man. Everything else is darkness. Okay? Everything else is in the modes. That's why we're like a laser beam. We preach this, preach this, preach this. Ecstatic love, transcendental knowledge coming from ecstatic love. That's real Bhakti Vedanta. Vedanta that comes from Bhakti. You notice Bhakti Vedanta. It doesn't say Vedanta Bhakti. Bhakti first, then Vedanta. Okay? No Bhakti, no Vedanta. That's why it says, to those who worship me with ecstatic love. Then you see, get the understanding, that's the Vedanta. That's why Hare Krishna is devotion, bhakti first, and then you get Krishna. Hare Krishna. See? And Rama, even there, the union is Radha, Madhava. See? Always bhakti first, bhakti first. Krishna said in this one movie, this perfect saying, he says, your name will always come before me. That means your bhakti will always come before Krishna. Has to. Otherwise you can't realize Krishna. It's just this hard thing. Your heart is hard. You think, Krishna, 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 Krishna. Look at me, I'm a devotee, man. I hate bhakti. So these guys that have so-called Vedanta, Bhakti Vedanta, they don't have the Bhakti and they don't have the Vedanta. See, they just give you the speculation. Hey, they're the Pundrakas in that they're like the imitators. They imitate the Bhakti Vedantas. We got bhakti, and therefore we have the Vedanta. It's all self-evident in the scriptures. I just pointed out because of this bhakti, and that's proof that I'm not a sahaja. If I was a sahaja, I couldn't point out this stuff. I'd be just part of those liars, man. Sahaja is that to say you got Vedanta and you got no bhakti, therefore you got no Vedanta. You got nothing. You're a poor, penniless person pretending to be wealthy. That's what you are. You got no wealth at all. My wealth is all these years of crying tears and blowing my nose. And I was connecting wealth because all kinds of Vedanta comes from that. See, the very life is this nectar, man. You got to taste this bhakti. If you don't taste it, you'll dry up. They have to taste it. See? So everybody is basically not tasting, so they're all dried up, man. Prunes. Morose. See? And how do you reverse that? Well, they have to believe that what we're teaching here, what I'm teaching here is real and true. That the real bhakti is here. The real Vedanta is here. And as they just get convinced of that, they will bloom. See, now you cleave unto the real tree by faith. Okay? Faith, not just faith in any teacher here that's a Vedanta with no bhakti thing. Faith in that, what is the result? You're not going to get bhakti in this life. They're not going to get bhakti in this life. They just under some speculation, idea that they're Bhakti Vedantas. See? But if you come to the right place, if they're convinced to come, then they'll bloom, because you got to cleave onto the disciplic line through the head of it. You got to be around this bhakti to get it. It's the only way. The Lord was manifesting it for people could get it. That's the way it's gotten here. That's why we get in the same room with the devotees. You'll see people will get it because you got to be around it. People are also, I mean, it's so powerful getting it by video, but it'll be these two pops showed by example by being in the same room. It just really helps, especially when the field is cultivated. Then we come, and then people will just, because that's how it's passed on, being close to the devotees.
Hello, it's Dashut here. You just listened to a class that was absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Again, that's Gaura Haridas, and nobody else gives classes like Gaura Haridas does in this world that I can think of at all. Nobody has given me anything like Gaura Haridas has given me of this last sort of couple of months. You know, from these classes, absolutely wonderful, spot on. Basically, what he's saying is absolute truth. If you believe this and you're getting something from it, if you don't believe it, it's up to you, you know. But this is real Siddhanta.